Jilani,
so, let him be cross-examined, let the truth be come out, let the final judgment of the court be come out, and then you can say that why the concerned governments are not taking action.
Mr. Jilani, I wish you were right. I wish. But unfortunately, there is no hasty conclusion I am coming to. I am sure you follow what has been happening in courtrooms across the world. You would have followed what happened in France. In the particular case which I referred to earlier, which was the case of Willie Bridget. Willie Bridget was this part of this Al-Qaeda group of militants involved in various plots. Willie Bridget met Sajid Mir, this man, your ISI major, the coordinator of foreign recruits who carried himself within the ISI and the army like a rising star. And the judge, the French judge, sir, not a judge sitting in Mumbai, the French judge said, and I am quoting, Sajid Mir is a high-ranking officer in the Pakistani army who held a lot of influence and apparently was also in the ISI. All the evidence in courtroom after courtroom across the world is pointing at the ISI. Every little bit of evidence is pointing at the ISI.
Yeah. But then you can ask you can legally, diplomatically ask the government of Pakistan to take action against these, these specific people.
Well, this I'm only asking
there are
about
diplomatic ways of going about it. So this is what you can do.
I think I need to come in here.
Yeah.
I want to get in Casey.
No,
Casey,
Arnab, can I come in here?
well, let me just get in Casey, because I'm also going to be joined by James Kreinlow, who's the attorney in this case from New York in some time. But Casey, you're hearing this argument. You heard Mr. Hilali earlier today. Now, yes, go ahead.
Yes, I heard. Arnab, it's very sad if our Pakistani friends, even today, when the problem is not really between India and Pakistan, the problem is between them and their chief patron, US. And we are only witnesses to it. We've been saying all this for 10 years. It's now in US courts. It's now in Bruce Rydell's book. It's now various factors which are coming from US, including the killing of Osama. There are various pieces which are falling together. And from those pieces, what is emerging is what India has always said. It's not a question of just India telling Pakistan this. Let me just quickly make 2-3 points. Now, one is for our Pakistani friends, 2005 becomes a very important year. 2005 is when Osama moves to Abbottabad. 2005 when Headley is recruited. 2005 also is the date after which no high-value Al-Qaeda character has been caught in Pakistan. They were all caught till 2005.
Absolutely.
Who was DG ISI in 2005? 2004 to 7 was General Kayani.
Yes.
2005 is also when the Taliban rises in Afghanistan. So somewhere in the middle of the last decade, in 2005, Pakistan took a decision that they were going to start dealing with their old friends. They were going to bring them out in the open. Americans had left. India. They had got busy in Iraq. They were not coming back. And that is when all this game starts unfolding. What we are seeing today is a result of those 5 years where we became a victim in 2006, in 2008. And 6 and 8 is where, again, Lashkar-e-Taiba expanded their agenda in India beyond Kashmir.
Absolutely.
They started hitting other targets. They started recruiting or trying to recruit Muslims elsewhere in India. So there is a grand plan in which the Indian part now appears like one piece.
If you read this
that is where they're answerable, and more is going to come out. If you see what has appeared in the US press today, they said till now there was a reluctance on the part of the prosecutor in Chicago to name ISI. They have checked up, they've been given the green light, and that reluctance is gone. So I think Pakistan needs introspection.
Mr. Hilali,
they need to listen not to their government,
Mr. Hilali,
they need to listen to former Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif.
Well, Mr. Hilali, before I go across to James Kreinlow, because anything I say, you will say that I am giving too much importance to what David Coleman Headley is saying. I have all the details. I think you should also read it, sir. It's shocking. The only conclusion I draw, Mr. Hilali, is that the ISI is not just involved in acts of terrorism. The ISI is a government-supported terror organization. And everyone in Pakistan is turning the other eye because it's very convenient to you, because the ISI keeps hitting at India. It's very convenient because the ISI targets India, and therefore it is, that's the only logical conclusion one can draw.
You can describe
You can describe the ISI as you like to suit yourself, to please yourself. But, you know, if we become half rational about these things, you'll understand. As I told you earlier, a lot of extremist groups have come up in our part of the world because of three distinct issues. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan.
So you're justifying it.
The Indian occupation of Kashmir and Palestine.
So you're
now
justifying
these
it.
three things, they work together to create extremist organizations.
1 minute, sir.
Now don't shut me off. Please listen.
Not shutting you
don't
off,
shut me off.
You're
Please
justifying
just listen briefly, just because you don't want to hear it. No, I'm not justifying. I'm saying extremist groups organized by themselves, organized by the help of friends, are in existence and came into existence because of three fundamental issues.
They are not operating on them.
To think that the ISI is manipulating all of them, to think that the ISI is directing all of them, I don't know what you think the ISI is. It is not what you make it out to be. People are posted in the ISI for a couple of years, and then they move on. Well, in fact, it's not even a very sought-after posting.
Sir, it's not what I think.
I really don't know why you're making it out to be an organization which is far different from what you are describing.
Sir, it is not what I think. I think tonight the question is, Mr. Hilali, with all respect, and if I read this confession, it's what the world thinks. James Kreindler is joining us. He's attorney for the 2611 victims. James Kreindler, on this debate tonight, we have Mr. Hilali, who's former Pakistani ambassador to the US. We have a top Supreme Court lawyer, Mr. Jilani from Karachi. And of course, Maruf and Casey are with us in Delhi. I want to ask you tonight, Mr. Kreindler, is it that easy to wish away the role of the ISI, given what David Coleman Headley has said, A? B, we have our guest from Pakistan today saying, who is this man? What is his credibility? Why are you believing him? What's your response to that argument?
Sure. Well, it's not just what we believe. The United States government, just several weeks ago, indicted Major Iqbal. In her statement yesterday, the prosecutor said that David Headley had many meetings with Major Iqbal of the ISI to plan the targets for the Mumbai attack. So what we've said in our complaint about the ISI joining with LET to perpetrate the Mumbai attacks is no different from what the United States Department of Justice has said in this criminal case. We're not making any statements about what the ISI has done historically or is doing now. But the ISI, because of its participation in the Mumbai attacks, bears responsibility and must join in to see that the victims are appropriately compensated.
That's coming from the attorney in New York.
No, but are you saying that the indictment is against Major Iqbal or against the ISI itself?
The indictment is against Major Iqbal, but the prosecutor, who represents the United States government, referred to Major Iqbal as Major Iqbal of the ISI in her opening statement yesterday. David Headley testified that along with meeting his handlers and Ellie.
But it's possible that Major Iqbal, he may be acting totally on his own. It's like an employee of CIA, for instance, doing something against the interests of CIA. You cannot hold that thing totally against the CIA as an institution.
In our system, in a civil suit, an organization has responsibility for the acts of its employees. We are not making an allegation that every member of the ISI knew of the Mumbai attacks in advance, but people have been named. There's a testimony that a lot of money was provided, GPS and other equipment. And in a civil suit, the organization bears responsibility for what its people are doing. Because of
the
that,
organization
owes
bears
No,
compensation
1
to
second, Mr.
victims'
Jilani.
families.
Mr. Jilani, you know, this is the standard argument that Pakistan uses. When you mention terrorism, they say non-state actors. When you mention the ISI, now you are hinting these are ISI renegades. Let me point out to you what has been said here in the confession of David Coleman Headley. He says, I was in direct contact with my ISI handlers who have influence and control over the LET's top brass and briefed my ISI handler after each reconnaissance trip to Mumbai. He goes on to say, Mr. Hilali, this would be of great interest to you because you're in Karachi. The Karachi project has the complete backing of the ISI and Colonel Shah of the agency handles Pasha. My ISI handlers in Pakistan were Major Samir Ali and Major Iqbal. No, I am reading straight from the confession, Mr. Hilali. Yes, Maruf.
Arnab, can I? You just said that Major Iqbal, who is mentioned, is a senior official of the ISI. Please tell me, who is this Major Iqbal? Does he have a first name? And what is his rank?
Sir, is that not the responsibility of the Pakistani government to confess? It's a confession the world is awaiting.
I mean, there are 2,000
It's a confession the world is awaiting.
There are 10,000 Major Iqbals. Look, there is a Major Smith in the army
there's a
of
telephone
Britain,
list in Headley's in writing, which has Major Iqbal's telephone number, which has been submitted to the court.
Sir, I think you can call up this number.
Arnab. Yes. Arnab, can I just make two quick points? Shall I call it up and find out if Major Iqbal answers and if he doesn't, I should tell you that it's not Major Iqbal.
Sir, it is not as. Sir, it is not as.
I mean, get a grip on this.
Sir, it is not.
You are.
So it is not as trivial as that. I would like to point out for you that he also goes on to say, I was taught unarmed close quarter combat in September 2003, where I came across an officer from the Pakistani army who is an expert at this form of fighting and imparted training. These are details. This is not all being made up.
He came across an officer. He came across an officer of the Pakistan army who was training with him. I mean, for God's sake, listen, you can't just go on the statement of one man, ambiguous statements
Sir, this goes on to say the Mumbai...
names like Major Iqbal.
Sir.
How can you just peg your case on a pathological liar's statement to get himself off the hook, to have his sentence reduced? I don't know what the American court will do, but I do know that in a criminal case, this would not stand.
Sir, the only pathological liar appears to be Hafiz Saeed, who is being treated like a celebrity in your country's establishment. The only pathological liar is Hafiz Saeed, who doesn't even own up to the fact that he organized the most brutal killing, who your government does not have the courage to take on. You have limitations, but still within the ambit of the law, there are a few things you should do. Maruf wanted to respond to you, sir. 1 second. Maruf.
Okay, the first point is that the American government has enough evidence against the ISI and its recent terror activities. They're just going to use the Chicago evidence further to bring it into public to say, he said it, we are not saying it, but they can start pressing Pakistan's nerve more because their patience has run out post the Osama bin Laden expose. The second aspect is that Mr. Hilali continues to keep being in a state of denial to say which Major Iqbal. The point to understand centrally is that this operation took several years to put together, and therefore by implication General Kiani, as the former head of the ISI, is also somebody who's going to come under the scanner. So the entire Pakistani establishment, with apologists like Mr. Jilani, are going to stand up and continue to keep defending them. And the third point that Mr. Jilani made about Kashmir, he must understand Kashmir acceded to India under the same rules of partition by which Pakistan was created. So if you contest the accession of Kashmir to India, Pakistanis should begin to question their very existence.
Okay, now last quick question to James once again, who's come this early morning in New York.
Go and read, Charles. Go and read Alistair Lamb's book. Go and read Alistair Lamb's book and find out how
Mr. Jilani, Alistair Lamb's book was funded by General Zia's regime. That book was completely sponsored by you. There are other accounts. One book doesn't make history.
Okay, there are two pieces of paper that will be interesting. One, the confession. Second, the telephone number list. Maybe the ISI could begin with calling these numbers. These two papers are here tonight. This is very interesting. The entire list of telephone numbers of the ISI handlers. I'm going across to James once again. James?
Arnab, I believe...
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Casey, quickly.
I believe Mahesh Bhatt's son's number is in the list
Let me
and
say
correct.
this. Even let me say this. Even before we get to David Headley, this is a sophisticated terrorist attack. I've been spending 22 years of my life with Libya, Pan Am 103, 9/11. This takes sophisticated planning and logistical coordination. It's not done by individuals spontaneously. Under our law, anyone who provides material support for a terrorist act shares in the responsibility to compensate the victims. It is inconceivable to me that this attack, years in the planning, was done by a dozen individuals on their own. David Headley's testimony fleshes out what we believe, that members of the ISI had a meaningful role in providing material support for the terrorist attacks, and have to join in an effort to provide meaningful compensation to the victims.
Okay, quick last word to Casey. Casey, you were saying something there.
No, I was saying that at the very least, Pakistan should accept the telephone list, make an inquiry, say we will conduct a bona fide inquiry, rather than denying everything, because this is no longer India saying anything. This is material seized by the US investigators.
I agree.
All that one of our newspapers has done is the number belonging to Mahesh Bhatt's son has been double checked and found to be correct. So if the Indian number is correct,
yes,
the presumption is that even the Pakistani numbers must be correct.
Absolutely, that's
and
the
that
point.
also is a number of Major Iqbal.
That's the point.
Now,
I want to hold it up.
is on Pakistan to figure that out.
I want to hold that
up. To go and find a Major Iqbal.
I want to hold that part up.
Incidentally, in case of Abbottabad, US has asked for a roster list of ISI officers during the period that Osama bin Laden was there in Abbottabad, and therefore they want to compare it to whatever they have seized from Osama bin Laden's house. That is how an inquiry is held.
I want to hold up so that everyone believes. You look at the Indian numbers as well. This is Rahul Bhatt's number, son of Mahesh Bhatt. It's a Mumbai number 9833098986. 9833098986. We can confirm here at Times Now that is indeed, or at least was, Rahul Bhatt's number.
You said this is the number. This is the number of Mahesh Bhatt.
Mahesh Bhatt's son, Rahul Bhatt, Mr. Jilani, and I stand by it.
7157.
No, I thought you said Mahesh Bhatt.
No, I said Mahesh Bhatt's son, Rahul Bhatt, who was in close touch and has acknowledged as much with David Coleman Headley. If that number is right, Casey Singh is saying that don't dismiss the rest of the numbers. Look at it. Call up the numbers. Maybe Pakistan will discover a few things.
Can I say something? I just want to say one thing, which I think I mentioned earlier also, that this is not a criminal trial. Like the American attorney said, this is a trial it's a tort case. It's basically they have filed a case for the damages. So I think the parties, they have an interest in pursuing it, but we should keep this in mind. This is not a criminal trial. This is a claim for damages.
And very quick.
No, the Chicago one is a criminal trial. The New York one is not.
The fact is, it's a criminal trial without any doubt. And for Mr.
Chicago is a criminal trial.
Mr. Hilali, the name of Major Iqbal, which will help us find the person better, is Major Mazhar Iqbal. Maybe the ISI bosses can now reveal Mr. Mazhar Iqbal's
Well, good. Give me the number, please. Why don't you publish the numbers, print them, and I'm sure people will check
in the public
up.
domain.
I think Mr. Gilani might do it if you ask him nicely.
Find out. It's in the public domain. You can find out the numbers. You can give the person a call and advise the person to stop being a coward and own up to the fact that they have carried out this act, or reveal their links with David Coleman Headley. Mr. Hilali, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Jilani, Mr. Hilali, Maruf, Casey, and of course James for joining us from New York.